Gotta do a little shot sometimes. Gotta change my face. All right, well, it was good to get back to practice. That's for darn sure. You know, get guys back out here running around. Yesterday, Mondays to us is a light day, practice-wise. And, you know, you almost putting one team at rest and getting prepared for a new team. So it's good to fully be focused on BYU today and get guys back flying around. You know, right now, you're dealing with a couple guys being sick and out. You know, that's just, you know, protocol. So hopefully that they'll be back tomorrow. And, you know, we continue to get guys back healthy and ready to go for this game.
Has Trick been shut down for the season?
No, he has not. You know, he was out running around today, and, you know, once again, he's a guy that's been handling actually some academic issues at the same time, trying to make sure he's prepared to go.
What's Donte?
Say it again?
What's Donte's prognosis for the week?
Right now, it's to his tolerance. You know, it's to his tolerance and when he feels comfortable to go back out there. And at the same time, you know, our medical staff is monitoring it.
What was his injury?
It's upper body injury.
The expectation being that Jackson will continue as starter with Keaton?
Yes. That is the expectation.
Any update on terms of Keaton's status? Are you expecting him to be shut down for the rest of the season?
I'm not. It's a muscle injury. So, you know, everybody heals a little differently. So I wish I could give you something better than that and just say, yeah, he'll be back tomorrow, but I don't know.
You guys usually go full pads on Tuesday. Is it because you guys are banged up right now that you're going shells, or?
Well, we're a little banged up, and it is the end of the season. You know, this is kind of like later in the season where most teams right now pretty much aren't even putting shoulder pads on at all. So for us to still put shoulder pads on, you know, credit to these guys still coming out here and being physical and flying around. At the same time, we also have a lot of guys that, you know, wasn't expected to probably play as much this year that are playing. So it has to be a big of a learning curve too, as well as being physical.
Senior week this week, and there's a lot of guys who will have to kind of make decisions on whether or not to come back for that COVID season or move on. Like, what conversations do you have with the senior class about that type of decision?
You know what, it's some guys that, you know, will have a decision to make when it comes to that. There's some guys that, you know, will be playing on Sundays here fairly soon. But there's also some guys that, you know, will have a chance to come back here and continue to contribute. You know, they got to also look at what's best for them. And, you know, hopefully some of these guys plan on coming back and, you know, helping us, you know, win a championship.
What's Portland Floyd's deal?
He was sick, actually. Yeah, he's sick. He's dealing with a little medical issue, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow.
In terms of Corey Foreman, we're getting towards the end of his first season. How would you describe just his progression and just his season in general?
A little bit of ups and downs, you know, learning as a freshman. I definitely think that him not playing his senior year, you know, for sure hurts anybody. You know, he basically he redshirted, but it's a different kind of redshirt. You know, most people redshirt, they still live and practice and run around. Just with COVID, guys didn't even have access to a weight room or to run around. So, you know, it's one thing to even do a couple workouts, nothing to actually put on pads and hit people and fly around. So, you know, he's had a couple injuries this year and a couple things and dealing with his weight, dipping down and coming back up. So, you know, a little bit of ups and downs, but hopefully, you know, a learning experience also to where he'll be ready to go for spring and, you know, everything going forward.
How did you deal with moving past the UCLA game? Did you show a lot of film? Did you just kind of close the book and move on? What was the impact?
It wasn't a lot of film, you know, but at the same time, UCLA does do some things that BYU does. So those were the plays, especially the mistakes that we need to correct it. Like I said, a lot of the big things that we had in that game, mistakes, it wasn't all of a sudden like it wasn't me and you making a tackle. It was actually finishing. It was you make contact, but the guy still falls forward for 5 yards. So it's not nothing that film could truly do about that. That's a technical issue. That's a, you know, body wearing down issue. That's a lot of different things that goes into that. And each time it was a different problem. Some of the coverage breakdowns, you know, those are things that got to over-communicate. You have to over-communicate with things, and, you know, a couple drop passes, taking our eyes off balls, and a couple breakdowns here and there, and next thing you know, it's a domino effect. You know, one problem becomes 4 and 5 and 6. So just about making sure that we are mentally right and our mindset is prepared to play this next football game.
This team's been through a lot this year. Where do you think they are mentally?
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
So this team's been through a lot this year. Where do you think they are mentally?
You know what? You know, it's a saying, and the saying is tough times don't last, tough people do. So, you know, I think all these guys are getting more prepared for life than just football right now. So it's going to be a lot of things that happen in life that doesn't go truly the way they plan them to go, and it's going to be a challenge. And I think they're learning how to deal with adversity, learning how to deal with challenges, and continue to push forward.
How do you gauge or tell whether they have bounced back from last weekend?
I'm sorry.
How do you gauge or tell whether you guys have bounced back and recovered from that emotional
I mean, well, the way that we started practice today, we definitely didn't bounce back, right? It was definitely slow, so I had to get on a couple guys and fire guys back up, and that's why toward the end of practice I had to bring people up to make sure we understand the way we started practice is not our standard. That was terrible, right? You can't just all of a sudden show up for a football game and think anything's going to go your particular way. So the sense of urgency definitely has to pick up. So when we started practice, we have not bounced back. Right, as the course of practice kind of went on, I felt a little more sense of urgency. I feel guys starting to pick it up, but at the same time, right, coaches don't lead teams to prominence and dominance. Right, it has to be player driven, and right now we need some of those leaders to continue to step up. Thank you. Fight on.